Hey folks, hope all good out there. Today we're looking at the awesome Eric Clapton from the Beano album sort of era, in particular Stepping Out. Now, Eric Clapton to me had sort of, well, two sides. I'm sure he had more than two sides. I think of his earlier stuff as more like sort of aggressive, fast-paced, edgy, and his later stuff as more mellow, laid back, and more refined. So we're going to look at the early stuff today, in particular Stepping Out off the Beano album. The Beano album is a fantastic album. It's such a great album. You really want to listen to that if you haven't listened to it already. So let's start off with Stepping Out. We're going to think about the chords first of all, what the chords are underneath the chord progression, and then talk about what he's doing and why he's doing it. So the first chord is a G7 chord. Do 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 do. Do. Then it goes to D7. Do. Then back to G7. So the kind of the riff thing is just over G7 and D7. Now when it goes to solo, it goes to G7, C7, G7, D7, C7, G7, just like a normal blues. So the start's a bit different. It's just the 1 chord and the 5 chord, and then when the solo comes, you've got a fairly standard blues. So let's go over the start. So he's starting off on this G note here. Right, and you can kind of think G minor pentatonic, right? G minor pentatonic position 1. He's coming out of there, isn't he? So let me do that really slow. Tabs, as always, on the Patreon page with lots of bonus stuff over there as well. So check that out. Just click the link below. Now the hard bit is this. That bit's not too bad. Let me do that mega slow. That's not too bad. That's the tricky bit. So the way I pick this, and I go on about this quite a lot, I use economy picking. I'm picking inside the strings. So the 5th fret on the A and the 3rd fret on the D. So I'm going up on the A string and down on the D string. And this basically gives me the shortest route between those two strings. And I've also got a little bit of mute going on there as well. Now, the thing about the way Eric Clapton plays it, and when I really listened to this song in detail, I realised something I hadn't really realised before, to be quite honest. He's got so much aggression going on there. He's hitting the strings really like mega hard. Because when he played it and then I played it, I thought, it doesn't sound like him. The notes are right, the timing's right, it doesn't sound like him. I would tend to play it like this. He plays it like this. Yeah, I don't naturally tend to play with that much aggression, but Clapton, boy, is he hitting the strings hard with his right hand. He's hitting them like mega hard. So go like mega hard with your right hand if you want to emulate his sound. Yeah. Now the second part is exactly the same as the first part, but all we're doing is we're doing it over the D, right? So all he's thinking is about just shifting everything up a string, basically. And here's that inside picking again. And then you're back to... Right, and here, this line now going into the solo, again, tons of aggression. And loads of aggression in the vibrato. So I'm now coming out of position 1, because we're over a G minor chord. Yeah, into position 2, I guess. So it's quite a wide, aggressive vibrato, I would say. So line 1, slide, wide vibrato. Right, so now I'm coming back from there into position 1 again. Yeah, and you've got the minor third there, so you're going to bend that a quarter tone almost every time. I don't think Eric Clapton raked on it, but that's something I'm adding in, I guess, because I like raking. Then when it goes to the C chord, he plays this note, right? And this note just goes on forever and ever and ever, right? He manages to get massive amounts of sustain over that by combination of aggression and the combination of his equipment. He was renowned for going in the studio, turning everything up to 10. I think the sound engineers back then said, we can't record you like that, it's too loud. And he said, well, tough, that's my sound, deal with it, basically. So just listen to that note on the recording, because it just goes on forever. I think I play it twice just to eke a little bit more out of it, but Clapton just hits it once, right? And because of all that volume and aggression, it just goes on forever. And now we're just coming out of position 2. Yeah. So an aggressive bend. So we get to. Yeah. And then we're coming out of position 2 with this. Right, so an aggressive bend. Vibrato again. Full step bend. So we got. Right. Now the next bit I quite like, which is this. So what is happening here is, this is like position 1 of the minor pentatonic. And then we're moving into position 2 of like G major, because it's over a G7 chord, isn't it? So we could play G major pentatonic position 2 there. Or we could play G minor position 1. And then that is very subtle when he plays that note. Yeah, so we've got that. That's a really nice line. And remember, nick these lines, use them across your playing. And then we come back into position 1 with. So lots of bending going on there. Yeah. Chord to tone. And I'm bending that note down and that note up. Yeah. Yeah, and then that takes me into the next section. So what can we learn from Clapton there? Well, mostly he's using G minor pentatonic, right? And he's mostly using it in the first position. When it goes to the C chord, he's just holding that one note, right? And moving up into the second position, but it's still G minor pentatonic. But because he's moved positions, it sounds like he's moving with the chord somewhat, yeah? He's just gone higher in G minor pentatonic, if you like. And one of the other things is about mixing that minor and major tonality with that. The mixing the minor and major is a great thing to play around with. I've got lots of videos on that. If you look back over my YouTube channel, great fun to play around with. That's mixing minor and major pentatonic. I'm just doing minor into major. Yeah, and there again. You go minor third to major third. It's all about those thirds. Yeah, playing around with mixing those minor and major thirds here. And then here. Yeah, lots of great fun with that. But the main thing for me when I listened to it carefully was his aggression. It's just so powerful. But you need to listen to the record carefully. It's what we call active listening. So you're not just listening while you're sort of driving along and letting it wash over you. You're really listening carefully to the way he plays the notes, the way he articulates the notes. the way he puts his vibrato on, the way he bends it, and the amount of sustain that he gets off it. Really try and pick up on those things to try and emulate what Clapton is doing. So don't forget to check out the Patreon page with all the tabs on there and the bonus material. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Catch you next time.